31 Bravo, take 2. A mark. B mark.
We thought, you know, what would be great if we do an action movie with Steven Seagal and Steve Austin. We try and figure out a vehicle in which they can both benefit and the audience can enjoy what they bring to the screen.
So talking with Steven and talking with Steve, we sat down and we reworked it around what they want to do. And, you know, I mean, Steven Seagal, gunfighter, you know, mastered all these things. And Steve Austin, you know, as he likes to put it, you know, he's a bulldozer, brute force. And brute force with skill, can't beat that, right? So it really evolved out of just the desire of these guys to work together and to do something interesting that they like to do.
Steven Seagal heads a special operations team with Steve Austin, and they're asked to decommission like a Guantanamo Bay type of prison.
I still can't believe I let you convince me to come here to shut down a couple of buildings.
This is a black site specifically designed for people of interest.
He's come in to shut down this prison and decommission it. I'm there to just watch his back and make sure nothing goes wrong. Of course, this is a movie. A lot of things go wrong.
I'm not here to make your life easier. Boy, you got that right.
A terrorist organisation has something that they want from one of the inmates, and then Mr. Seagal, Mr. Austin, and the HSO team all come in to save the day.
Myself and a team led by a character named Blake are coming in to extract the target, so to speak, which is Samantha, because she has a chip implanted that has a whole bunch of information that's going to get us a lot of money.
I'm a courier for a non-US intelligence agency. Sometimes I work with friendlies and sometimes enemies, but all of it off the official radar.
My character she's just a girl in very extraordinary circumstances, and you know, she doesn't know how to hold a gun, she doesn't know how to fight, but there's no part of her that's gonna just lie down and get beaten. You know, she's very inexperienced in amongst these big guys and like the bad girl.
I have the asset and confirmation of the chip implant and location. Cross is right behind me.
Get to the extraction point.
I play Chris Blake. I'm a rogue military guy. I've kind of quit the military and formed my gang of robbers, and we're going to hijack a bunch of whitewashed money that the government uses to bribe and pay off favored efforts in trouble spots around the world.
We also have Bren Foster, who is a huge soap star, and you know, talk about a great martial artist as well.
My name's Bradley in the movie, and my specialty is breaking and deciphering codes. And that specialty enables us to find out that the terrorists are coming into the jail to try and kidnap or take out one of the prisoners.
It gives the exact pickup time and route the marshals are going to.
Okay, so what we're talking about is a high-risk extraction in the making, and it's coming soon.
Steven is playing a private contractor who's hired to close down this military prison. I've been a fan of his since the beginning of his career. I think the big reason why Steven Seagal movies work is because when somebody fantasizes about going in and kicking somebody's ass that they really feel justified in doing, they never fantasize about getting hit. See, Steven never gets hit. Steven just beats the crap out of the bad guy.
All of the stunt guys and the guys that I hang with, the stunt coordinators, have all worked with Steven many times before, so I've heard so many stories. And now to be able to work with him and see how he operates and get in the scene with him is fun. I think that when we are on screen, there's a lot of chemistry there. So I just think that we need to have as much of that as possible. So the scenes that I have with him, I value. I usually make the mess, brother. You got me cleaning this one up.
See, the thing of it is, you're getting old, man. I got to let you down easy. But the thing of it is, when I want somebody to cover my back, you're my man. All our guys, they the best. The way I look at it, you'll be down in Mexico in the next few days, and there's 4,000 ways to get killed down there, so watch your ass.
Thanks for trying to cheer me up.
They had chemistry. The minute that they're on screen, you can see it. These are two big men. These are men who, big personalities, tall guys, muscular guys. These are, strong guys. These are guys who, people feel feel their personality from afar.
They're both very similar in that they're both action heroes, and for them to be working together on the show was a great plus for us, because it's great. You have a scene with Steven Seagal, and then he does his action, and next thing is Steve Austin, he does his action, so it's non-stop action.
We're doing a sequence where Steve Austin is with the high-speed operating team, so he has his guys and his guns, and Steven's by himself, and they run into each other in the middle of the prison, and there's a moment of them seeing each other and saying, hey, I finally made a connection with you again, and then here comes the bad guys. And, Steven Seagal, he orchestrated this whole thing this whole gunfight based upon, reality and how you would do it and so forth. And then you have Austin in there, actually, he's great with a gun, and he's directing the team around. And so what we have is, one master and another guy with his men doing their whole gunfight, and it's a huge gunfight. Usually, you go, okay, gunfights, people will always compare them to, the big ones in movies, Heat and this or that. And a lot of time it's, again, because of the big scope. But with this, it's just sheer power and pyrotechnic. And you're seeing two big stars doing the, realistic moves and doing them together. So, it turned into a big thing, and it actually, that's another one of those things where you go, oh, it's just going to be two guys meet, they fire, they move. That took like half a day to shoot, because it was just a whole lot of pyrotechnics.
Keone Waxman is directing this. He's an old friend of mine from Hawaii. Really a good writer, a good filmmaker, good director.
Keone Waxman is probably one of the best directors that I have ever met and worked with. And when he first read the script, he says, it's a nice little movie, but how can we make it bigger? He's great at doing that, just that. He takes something and he says, well, how can we make it bigger? How can we enhance this story? How can we enhance the scene? How can we enhance this action?
I love working with Key. I'm excited about working with him again. He's an organized guy. He just has seems like a master plan in his brain. Things can get screwed up, but Keone is a guy who thinks on his feet. He's good at giving me direction. He helps me out a lot. I lean on him. He has a good vision of what needs to happen, how it needs to get done, and we do it.
It's a complicated film because, the whole premise originally was to try to make it contained so we could build the action up. There's a lot of moving parts. Just because it's in one building doesn't make it an easier film. And it just turned into a big show. What's cool is you follow Steven, you follow Steve, right? So you have two guys you're following, and each one of them is just kicking ass. So now we're telling two stories, but each one is interesting. So you end up with a lot of coverage, a lot of time spent on making sure each story works. And then you throw in Michael Pereira's bad guy, and then the girls, and it gets pretty big.
It's a huge picture with the amount of action, with the story, with everything all included. It's quite a ride.
If there is anything besides from all the great action and martial arts that they're going to see, I'd like the audience to see that, hey, these guys have a relationship. They care about each other. They care about what happens to each other. And at the end of the day, they're watching out for each other's lives. You know what I mean? So it just adds an extra dimension to just the action film, I guess.